Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at Honor Magic V3, which is, I'm new to, so it's a folding phone and this is new to me, so I've not tried a folding phone out before, and I've been really impressed with the Honor Magic V3 from the start, from the unboxing right through to actually using the phone for the past 2 weeks. I've absolutely loved it. So as I've mentioned, it's my first experience with a folding phone, so I have looked at the Pixel 9 Pro Fold before and thought about buying it. I ended up buying the Honor Magic version 3 because it had seemed to have much better cameras. It was on offer, and to me, it just had the features I needed for creativity. So I just decided to purchase this phone when it was on offer a few weeks ago, and I got a free pair of headphones with it, and the charger, and a discounted tablet. So I got a really good bundle of stuff for really good value for money, in my opinion. So let's look at the folding phones. The manufacturers have really struggled with folding phones to fit in decent cameras to these phones. So over the years, Pixel tried it with the original Fold. The camera's rubbish compared to, say, the Pixel 8 Pro, and they just can't, because of the form factor, they struggle to fit them in. So the version 3 of the Honor Magic is the first folding phone, I think, with decent cameras and a flagship level camera experience, because the problem is that these folding phones are really expensive. So the Honor V3 starts at $1,699 full list price. The Pixel Fold starts at $1,500, I think it's $1,600 for list price. And the Samsung Z Fold starts at about the same price. So these are really expensive phones. They cost more than the flagship candy bar style phones with worse cameras. So this is why this has often put people off buying them. So on this review, I'm going to film the entire thing on the Honor phone to show you how good the quality of the camera is. I normally use my DSLR. I'm going to use the 4K 60 on the Honor rear camera on the phone to show you how good I think it is for video. So this is Honor's third attempt at a folding phone. So they had the version 1 V2. They're both good, all good phones, but this is the best one so far, as expected. And as I mentioned, so I picked this up around Christmas time for $1,399 with a pair of Bang & Olufsen headphones thrown in, the 66-watt charger, and the Magic V3 tablet, which I paid for £300 for. So total price was this $1,699, which was the full list price of the phone with more stuff with it. So if you look at something like a Google Pixel 9 Pro Fold, you never get anything like that included. You never get any deals on it. I even got a case in the box with it. It came with screen protectors on the screens. It came with 6 months repairability on the screens. This is just much better value for money, in my opinion, than bigger manufacturers. So it's worth looking at smaller manufacturers like Honor, OnePlus, and all these Xiaomi, because they all produce excellent phones with really, really quality build. And a lot of people haven't heard of them, but they're worth looking at over the bigger manufacturers, just from my opinion, testing a few of these phones out now. The screens come out of the box with a pre-applied screen protector, which is really nice to have. It's just a flexible screen protector. So the outside screen comes with one applied and the inside one. So the inside one is a flexible OLED screen, and it has a sort of silicone coating underneath that to protect the screen even further. So you'll have seen some reviews, people snapping folding phones in half online, and the Pixel 9 Pro Fold is particularly susceptible to damage, as I've heard from other people who've had it. So if you're looking at folding phones and you're worried about damage, do not look at the Pixel 9 because it's really badly damaged, in my opinion. But this feels really strong. The Honor version 3 feels really strong, feels really well built. And just to let you know, I'm not in any way endorsed by Honor on this review. I paid for the phone myself. This is an honest, open review on the phone. So let's get into the design and build quality of this phone, because I think that's the most important thing on the folding phone market at the moment. So this is my second Honor phone I've had in a few weeks. So I tried the Magic 6 Pro out, and I really, really liked that phone. In fact, it's my third phone because I had the 200 Lite as well, all of which have impressed me with their build quality, even right down from the £160 mark right up to £1,699 mark. It all felt really well built and really well made, which is nice to see a manufacturer not skimping on build quality at the lower end of the market, I think. So the Magic V3 folds really well. The hinge seems really, really tough. It's made out of stainless steel. It can be folded 500,000 times. It's tested to or over that, which is more than you'll ever do in the lifetime of the phone. And it feels really well made. I have not had any problems with the phone. I've given it to my kids unfolded. They've watched films on it, thrown it around a bit, and it's had no problems with it. It's held up to everyday life as expected for the price. So I think the included case helps that because it gives it a lot of protection. It matches the phone perfectly, which is really good. So if you buy a Google Pixel 9 Pro Fold example, you have to buy the case on top, and that adds up to the value of the cost. So you need a case for these because they just are quite delicate, the screen, so if you drop the screen on the floor, it probably will get damaged in some way, which is nice to see Honor including 6 months insurance for the screen replacement as well, which is really good. So the phone itself is only 226 grams, and it only, when it's folded, it's only 9.2 millimeters thick and then 4.3 millimeters unfolded. So this is a really thin phone. In fact, to me, using it, it didn't feel much thicker than using, say, the Oppo X8 Pro or the Honor Magic 6 or the iPhone 16 Pro. I've not really noticed a difference, which is one thing that put me off using folding phones in the past. The overall design is lovely. It comes in 3 colours, green, black and brown. I've got the black one here because the 2 were out of stock at the time. I really wanted to try the other colours, but I couldn't get hold of them. And it has a vegan leather back, and the case matches, as mentioned, perfectly. The back of the camera protrudes quite a long way, but this is worth it for the camera trade-off, which I'll mention later on. Also, there is a kickstand on the camera, which is really nice, because that folds out and you can use it to stand your phone up as a little tablet and watch films on and stuff. So really nice touch by Honor that. So I think now what we'll do is we'll go over the specifications of the phone and get into this review and what sort of power it's got. Foldable phones. So you look at the Google Pixel 9 Pro, for example, and the 9 Pro Fold. They have a lot worse cameras than each other, but the 9 Pro costs a lot more than the 9 Pro. But you get worse cameras. But I think Honor have done a really good job with the Magic version 3, and the cameras really impressed me. They're not as good as something like the Oppo Find X8 Pro with its Hasselblad camera system, but they aren't far off, and that's nice to see. And you get 3 really good cameras on them. So the 3 cameras on the back, so you get an ultra wide, a wide, and a telephoto. So the ultra wide is a 40 megapixel shooter, and probably the weakest camera of all 3, which is quite normal on most phones of this kind of size. The main camera is a 50 megapixel wide with a big sensor, and it produces some really good results, and that is probably the strongest camera as expected. And then the 3.5 times telephoto has a wide big sensor and a slightly wider aperture, so it's really good quality for a telephoto, and I got some really good shots. So those 2 lenses perform really well in low light as well, whereas the ultra wide doesn't quite perform as well in low light as the other 2, but it's still a good lens outside. It's just not as good as the other 2. So I did try them out, and all these lenses go up to 100 times zoom, which is not really achievable in real life because the quality degrades quite a lot. So you get 3.5 times optical zoom on the telephoto, and then you can go up to about 10 times, 20 times before you notice it degrading in quality. So it's nice to see Honor using larger sensors on these phones, because the Google Pixel 9, for example, and the Samsung Galaxy Fold has some good cameras on it, but the actual Google 9 Pro Fold has a lot smaller sensors on it to fit it in the chassis, and Google go on about it being very slim, but actually the cameras aren't very good, and they use a lot of AI trickery to enhance the photography quality. And obviously Honor use AI in their photography as well, but they rely more on the hardware side of things, and you do have a bigger camera bump. But the way Honor get around making this work with the phone is integrate a stand into it with the case, and I think it works. I haven't had a problem with it. It protects the camera. It doesn't feel too large. Yes, it sticks out the phone a bit, but it's not too much of a problem. The only downside is when it's fully folded, fully flat, and using it on the desk, it does wobble around quite a lot. So just one thing to bear in mind, but just use the stand to stop that. So the other 2 cameras on the front are selfie cameras. So they're both 20 megapixels. So you've got a 20 megapixel camera on the front, 20 megapixel camera on the internal display, and these both work really well for 4K recording. For video calls, WhatsApp calls are absolutely fine. Also, the camera modes are quite good, so you get plenty of modes on there to choose from. And these Honor, as usual, have partnered with Hardcore in Paris, which is like a photography house, and they've put some of their modes on there. So it's nice to see some of their portrait modes on there. And it gives you some nice effects like black and white, different colours, and you get some really good creativity on the portrait side of things on the camera. So it's particularly good for portrait pictures, and Honor kind of push their cameras for portrait modes, and you can have some really fun results. And as I mentioned before, so there's no lag on the shutter on the camera. I could fire loads of pictures on it and no problem whatsoever, which is really good for a folding phone. You can do AI movies on it, which is really nice to see. And I've made one for a Christmas movie with the children. It looked really good, and it put the music in there and set it all out with the Christmas theme. And it only took about 2 minutes to process it, and you could see how fast the phone was in doing it. One thing I also really liked about using a folding phone as a creator was I could fold the phone at a 45-degree angle and use it as so I could I could put the phone on the table without a stand or anything, and then take a selfie with it on a timer and I could use it to take pictures of products and stuff like that, and it was really, really useful. So this was one thing that I'm really going to miss about using them, not being able to do that, because folding phones, you can stand them up and take family photos, use it as like a little stand basically at the back of the phone, which is really useful. As I mentioned, I've shot 4K 60 on the phone for long periods, and the phone just doesn't overheat. So, should you buy the Honor Magic V version 3? If you're in the market for a foldable phone and you haven't yet considered a foldable device, or even if you're in the market for a flagship smartphone, I would seriously consider this phone because it has little compromises compared to most folding phones. It has great cameras, 2 great screens, and it feels really well made. And it's also waterproof. So you submerge it 2.5 meters of water for 30 minutes, I think it is, whereas the Google Pixel 9 Pro Fold, for example, is just water resistant. So the only downside is the dust resistance. So that is, if you're going to be using it in dusty environments and you just can't use it in that, it won't work. It will get full of dust and you will ruin the phone and you have a very expensive repair bill at the end of it. So in my mind, it's the first foldable that offers flagship level performance with the decent cameras. The Samsung is really good. I've had to play around with the Samsung Fold, and it is a good phone and it is great. It does have some good cameras, but I think the Honor beats it price-wise and also in terms of its cameras. So just check out the Honor for its camera if you want really good cameras on a foldable, because they have got really good offer on them. And let me know what you think about the quality of this video, filmed all on the Honor. As I said, for 1,699, I got loads of accessories thrown in. I got the tablet thrown in. I got a pair of B&O headphones, and they always have some offers on their website. They always have £300 off, or they have some sort of discount. So I think it's really nice that you get a discount on their phones, and something like Apple or Google very rarely discount. I know Google do and have at the moment, but not as much as Honor do. The OLED screens are fantastic and they get bright enough for use outside. I'm not going to go over the nit ratings on this, but they are really bright and they are excellent screens. I have no problem using them outside or inside. They're fantastic. So in conclusion, I thought using a foldable phone was going to really annoy me and I was going to get irritated by it and all the compromises it came with, but I've actually really enjoyed using the Honor Magic V3 and I would highly recommend the phone. Go out and check on his website. It is an expensive investment. They are an expensive phone, but if you think about it, you get a tablet and a phone included in one. And I love the ability to take it out and about and use it for my creative business and also to view spreadsheets on the inner screen. And I'm very sad that I'm not going to be using this as my main phone going forward. So just to reiterate, this phone review was not sponsored by Honor in any way. It's my personal opinion, my honest opinion. And I bought the phone with my own money, so I'll be selling it after this to get the money back. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the review. And we've got some fun, good, exciting tech coming up in the new year. So thank you. And please subscribe if you haven't done already.